Should the Sussexes achieve the recognition they desire in America, Catherine, Princess of Wales, will exclude Prince Harry and Meghan Markle from her circle of trust. This is the main content of today's newsletter. I can't deny, I am a little bit curious. What would have happened if Harry and Meghan had somehow achieved the recognition they so desperately craved and were certain that they would get in America? I mean, would they have acted any differently than they do now? It seems like they are somewhat pacified, although they are still so incredibly egotistical. But there certainly seems to be a drawback to the British home front for whatever reasons. I remember when Harry did the stupid Oprah Winfrey interview, and he talked about how he thought it was necessary to remove his family from the toxic environment, as he put it, of the royals, especially since Meghan wanted to end her life with a baby inside her, they told us. Harry was so upset that he had to take her with him to stop her from harming himself. And look, I'm not necessarily disputing this claim. I mean, I am not living inside of Meghan Markle's head, thank God, so I can't really know for sure what she was feeling. But I am questioning the fact that, considering these horrible accusations, why would the two of them still want to remain connected to the royal family? The titles and staying in the line of succession, obviously, they were foremost in their Oprah arguments. And let's be honest, Harry and Meghan have not represented the monarchy of Great Britain and the Commonwealth for a very long time, and they certainly have not established themselves as the new royals in America. I do understand that they were hoping they would be recognized as royal officials, which would have placed them among some of the elite in America, but that never happened. And so now we keep on seeing these reports that Harry and Meghan are trying to come back to Britain, or at least Harry is. He claims that he wants his invisible kids to get to know his home. The problem, though, is that they're so worried about safety, supposedly. But I'm still asking, why on earth are they so scared for their safety in Britain and not in America? What did they do wrong? Well, they did humiliate the royal family in front of the entire world, and they told so many outrageous lies. The royal family, though, didn't do anything in response. They just stayed quiet and they carried on with their lives. The people Harry and Meghan were hoping to influence and get their support, they're not supportive of Harry and Meghan at all. Harry and Meghan seriously miscalculated, and they upset people because they were just so incredibly outrageous with their demands and their comments. I mean, all of it. And now they're claiming they feel threatened. Yeah, I'm sure they do feel threatened. I think there is a very real threat of them being booed if they ever come back. And let's compare them to the Edinburgh couple and their children. Now, they're low-key, they're incredibly hardworking, and they like to stay quiet. Their children were well-raised, and they act right. It seems to me these people should be actually a lot higher up in the line of succession than Harry and Meghan are, because they have shown loyalty to the monarchy, and they're visible to the public in their duties. But unfortunately, this is not the way royal protocol works. Harry and Meghan wanted to leave their positions as senior royals. That was their choice. They wanted to be half in, half out, but the late Queen said no. So they decided to go public and say so many hateful things about the royal family, and they have shown they feel absolutely no loyalty to the crown. Looks to me like the only reason they are still in the line of succession is because they fall within the royal rules of maintaining the royal bloodline as a result of Harry being the king's second son. There are also conditions in the letters patent to keep the bloodline intact. I understand that. And I believe they still remain iffy with respect to the two invisible Sussex children because we don't know if they're really Harry's kids. And look, I'm not trying to argue the relevance of the line of succession or the letters patent. I understand they have their purpose. But fate also comes into play here. Now, luckily, William is the heir apparent, not Harry. Harry seems very easily manipulated, and I think it's pretty obvious Harry is lost. He has no idea if he's headed up or down. George is next in line. Fate or chance, whatever it is, was very wise. The Wales children are being taught all about their roles in relation to the throne. But what if it had worked out the other way? I don't even want to think about it, honestly. So what is going to be the future for the royal family? Well, Catherine is going through cancer treatment right now, and the king is too. And apparently there are going to be more tabloid reports that Catherine is really not all that sick and that William is sneaking around behind his wife's back. I am so disgusted by these reports. They have got to stop it. But see, I guess these are occupational hazards that come along with being a public figure. And I think the royal family, they're used to it. They know to take this nonsense in stride and just ignore it altogether. The Edinburghs, meanwhile, they are doing a fantastic job, and their kids are doing great too. The rest of the royal family, they are contributing their time and their energy to keep the monarchy going, while Catherine and William deal with their personal issues. And I'm sure William is going to get back to royal responsibilities as well as his father as soon as they are able to. When it comes to Harry and Meghan, though, there might be a sort of wait and see kind of period. Now, if their plans for success go under, then they might try to apologize to the royal family, but I don't think it's going to be enough. And something tells me they're not going to keep their distance from the toxic environment like they said they would. I mean, even the idea of them apologizing, honestly, is something that I find very hard to imagine. As for the tabloids' job is to sell stories and get clicks. So there are always going to be stories in the tabloids about Harry and Meghan heading to Britain with their children. A reach for this happy Hollywood ending that apparently so many people are hung up on, but I don't believe it's going to happen. It would be completely out of character for Harry and Meghan to be videoed coming out of a plane with Elizabeth in Meghan's arms and Archofficial holding onto his father's hand. Now that's the way that celebrities are typically seen photographed at airports. What I find even more remarkable, though, is why Harry and Meghan cannot just accept their children for who they are. I mean, if they came from a surrogate, so what? Be honest about it. What difference does it make if they are not in the line of succession? Why couldn't they just accept them as children who were born to be loved, and that should be enough? The Wales children are already set in place for the line of succession. It doesn't matter. And I'm sure the Wales children are going to have their own children to carry on. So how can it be worth it? How can all this BS be worth it just for Harry and Meghan to stay relevant? And another thing, I would love for somebody to explain to me, why on earth should Harry and those invisible kids remain in the line of succession if they're not even a part of the firm? It doesn't make a bit of sense to me. Why do they still believe that they are so important that they have still got to be associated with the firm? I mean, in their whole quest for independence and recognition, what exactly have they achieved? Nothing. Seems to me like the biggest reason that Harry and Meghan so desperately cling to those titles and for the kids to stay in the line of succession is all about financial security, and also they have got to somehow feel superior to their neighbors in California. Other than that, well, they have nothing to offer. So they're just going to have to keep on looking to the royals for some kind of support or recognition of who they are, but who they're really not. Unless maybe Meghan Markle's latest venture into selling coffee and jam and dog food is going to somehow work out, I doubt it. See, it's too late for them. They already opened Pandora's box through the Oprah Winfrey interview and then other interviews too, and books. And for some bizarre reason, they still cannot comprehend why, in spite of all the damage they have done, that they're no longer recognized as being an important part of the royal family. So, how long are they going to continue to rationalize their behavior, and how is it going to end? Well, we still don't know that. It does look like that the king is sticking to what his mother knew how to do, play the long game. He has other, more important worries to deal with. Now, I read an article that apparently Harry whined to the late Queen that Charles slammed the phone down on him. Well, and the Queen then asked Charles why he did such a thing. And Charles's answer was, "I'm not a bang." If this is true, then I think it tells us everything we need to know about that relationship. Let's also not forget that Harry now is listed in court documents as a party involved in the latest U.S. child sex trafficking case and child sex abuse scandal with P. Diddy. There are no details yet, but it could be a very messy story indeed. I haven't seen him out and about for a little while, much like other people involved who have gone into hiding. Honestly, I don't think Harry understands how serious what he has done to his family and country really is. It seems like he can't understand the hostility that he gets from the public and the refusal by his family members to speak with him alone. I guess Harry right now just cannot understand why Meghan's promises of success and fame in the US have failed to materialize after 4 years, and they seem very upset that they can't get it. Harry needs a few million more to tide them over until I guess the jam and dog food and coffee money starts coming in. So next bit of news, why did Catherine, Princess of Wales, leave Prince Harry and Meghan Markle out of her circle of trust? Well, apparently, Harry and Meghan didn't have any idea about Catherine's cancer diagnosis until it went public. I completely understand why, though. Naturally, Catherine was worried that Harry and Meghan were going to leak the news, and they would have done that. I don't see how it's a mystery to anybody as to why Harry and Meghan were not informed about Catherine's diagnosis. Obviously, there is no trust. Because it would have been such a risk to tell the two of them anything. You know they would have leaked that information. So they didn't know about it, and they only found out the news at the same time we did. This really just demonstrates, though, how irreparable the damage that they have caused is. The trust has been destroyed, and there's no way they're going to get it back. The royal family is doing the right thing by distancing themselves from these traitors. Harry and Meghan have shown the world they can't be trusted, they're not loyal, and they have no business knowing any confidential information. The fact is, the gruesome twosome are stupid enough to put it out there that they didn't know, and really that says a lot. Again, Meghan Markle was just trying to reduce Catherine to a nobody. Oh, so obvious. It's really laughable. Meghan is such a disgusting individual. I mean, even when her sister-in-law announced that she was being treated for cancer, Meghan Markle was still trying to get the upper hand. I cannot stand that woman. No matter what, I think many people around the world are going to continue to despise Meghan. Well, this is the main content today, and how do you feel about this content? Please leave a comment to let us know. We're going to be truly grateful to you when you support us with a like, share, and subscribe to the channel.